And how does that make you feel?
Hey everyone, this is the Blazing Faith Podcast, and I'm Josh. And today we're talking about how do we heal from hurt. This is Brittany, and I've asked her, kind of told her that she was going to join us because not that she's been hurt a lot, but she's helped a lot of people through hurt professionally. And so I think that she's got a lot of valuable insight that she's going to be able to add to people who would say, man, I've been hurt, and she's going to help us to walk through that. So Britt, thanks for being on today. Really grateful for that. So here's what I want to do. There's a question that you said when we were talking about this to get started, and you said the first question that we have to ask is,
do you want to heal?
do you want to heal?
Yes. And that's a very important question that I believe is the basis of should be healing, of do you want to heal? Jesus asked that question multiple times because the reality of it is not everybody's answer is yes, I want to heal. Some people don't, and they're just not ready for that. So that first question is, do I want to heal? Do I want to get better? Or do I want to stay bitter?
Yeah.
So making that decision.
So Blazing Faith Podcast crew that's watching, the question is, do you want to heal? That's the first question that we have to ask before we can get going. So I want to break it down because I was talking about being hurt, but you were very quick to say, are you hurt or are you offended? And I think that really made me start to think about some of the things that I was talking about on the last video. That really hurt and that broke me. And I was like, man, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if I was actually hurt or offended. So can you explain the difference in those two?
Yes, I can. So we have hurt, and a hurt is something that is so painful, physically painful. You can feel it in your soul. It is painful. It was a hurt towards you, or you experienced it, and that's going to require true healing. It's going to require you to break that down, heal from that. It's going to require forgiveness. It's going to require all sorts of things. So we have the hurt, and then we have an offense. And an offense is still painful, it's still painful, but a lot of times an offense is something that requires a change of an emotion or reaction, and an offense is something that the majority of the time questions something about you. It questions your integrity. It questions it questions something, a character about you, and that offends you. Yeah. So you can be hurt and offended at the same time, and make that clear. But just deciding what it is going to be that first step, and figuring out, do I want to stay better, or do I want to get better, or do I want to stay better? Yeah.
So to the way that you broke it down for me, because I get free therapy every single night, whether I want it or not, the way that Brittany broke it down for me after my last video, when I was talking about rumors, because I was like, I don't understand, it was all hurtful, and she was like, I think part of it is actually, you were actually just offended, maybe, and then the other part was you were hurt, and the way you explained it to me was that maybe I was offended at the shots that were taken at me. People had came at my integrity, and I have tried for my whole adult life to protect my integrity, to walk with integrity, and then all of a sudden it was like people were throwing darts at it, and that really offended me. But it didn't actually hurt me. It just kind of emotionally, I had to say, you know what, I don't care what they said. But the part that hurt me was people who I loved and who loved me, who actually believed those rumors to be true, and that actually was hurtful. That wasn't just offensive, that was hurtful. So you can have the two of those combined together. You can be hurt, you can be offended. They're not equally painful. I'm not sure. They're both painful in their own way and in their own regard, but nonetheless, they both require a different type of healing.
Yeah, so looking at all of that, you have to decide, like we said, what you're going to work through, and like you said, some of that requires talking to other people and working through those problems. But I also think, like we said at the very beginning, it also requires you to make that decision. And it may require somebody else to bring into that, and that's fine. And it may not. And so that's okay too. If that scares you off of thinking I have to bring somebody in on this, That may not be necessary, but it may. The main thing is just being willing to look at that and examine that hurt and or offense and try to figure out what is it.
Yeah.
Because you cannot move forward if you are stuck in that bitterness. And that's not an easy thing to do. Self-reflection can be hard. But that would be my best thing for this topic would be to just be ready for that and to look at that and examine that.
It's incredibly important to examine ourselves and to know, like, maybe even we're part of the problem, and we're going to talk about that. So that's never fun, but definitely I think today, if I could say that you learned anything or that you probably need to take from this or to take away from this, would be just to understand, number one, you have to make the decision, do you want to get better? Do you want to heal? And number two, look at your hurt and try to figure out, am I hurt or am I offended? Being offended is change of an emotion. Like emotionally, I just need to change my perspective, or I need to change the way that I'm perceiving this, or I just need to forgive that person and kind of move on. Or am I hurt? And if I'm hurt, I need to do some work. I need to decide, do I want to stay in this place or do I want to actually get better? And if I want to get better, then I'm going to have to put the work in, and that can look like a lot of different things that we're going to talk about over the next couple of videos. So thank you guys for joining us today. And Brittany, I'm so incredibly thankful that you would take time out of your busy schedule for me and to help our viewers all across the World Wide Web to learn about how to heal from hurts. And so I just want to say thank you, and we'll see you guys on the next video talking about that really hurt and how do we heal from that.